Hey, what's up guys, it's Rich and welcome to another video. Today you're going to be watching me play some Battlefield 4. You can see I'm using, it doesn't really matter what weapon I'm using at the start here because I kind of change up a few times. I think I'll start with the AK-5C, which is a carbine rifle, and I kind of swap between that and UMP-45. So, this gameplay, I get 13,000 score playing Conquest Large on Silk Road, I believe this map is called, as part of the China Rising DLC. And I was playing on my own as well. I wasn't actually going to play this game, but I decided that I would give myself a life or two, see how it went at the start, and if it was going okay, I would continue playing, because this is one of those maps where I play pretty inconsistently. If there's a load of vehicles everywhere, sometimes I struggle getting kills, and when you're not getting kills, the game isn't really that much fun. But that is what I'm going to try and fix for you guys in this video. If you're a new player to Battlefield, I'm going to try and give you some really good tips that I would have appreciated when I was starting out. They're not going to be like expert tips, so if you're like already an intermediate level player, you're not really going to find too much from this video, I suspect. But if you're like me, where you've come over from a different first-person shooter game, there's a few different game mechanics that you would benefit from learning, and hopefully this video is going to be a little bit of a guide on how you can improve your game, improve your stats, your win-loss ratio, your KD, your score per minute, and overall have a far more enjoyable time playing this really good game. So hopefully you learned something. If not, that's cool. Enjoy the gameplay in the background, and let's get into the tips. So the first tip that I had today is that if you're a first-time Battlefield player, I highly suggest that you play a game mode such as Domination or TDM, or just maybe even Rush. Rush is like kind of borderline, but definitely jump into a Domination or a TDM to begin with, just because these are game modes where, well, when I say TDM, I'm talking about like small TDM servers, not the large ones. And the reason being is, if you jump into a game mode like a Conquest Large like I'm playing right here, it can be pretty overwhelming because there's loads of different game mechanics at work compared to other first-person shooters that you may have played. Look at this, by the way. What are these guys doing? They don't even react to me giving them the dick with the pistol. They didn't even care. Just get a cheeky triple kill, pick up the MTAR, and go on a little bit of a rampage with this as well. But as I was saying, if you're jumping into a Conquest Large, it can be overwhelming if you're trying to learn everything about the game at once. What I did when I played this game was I played Domination, which is like a 10v10 smaller game mode compared to Conquest Large, and the map's smaller, there's a load more action in like a tighter area, so you don't have to go looking for the enemies. There's no like wide open spaces in general. I guess that's a pretty good rule. Sometimes there may be in different maps, but what I'm trying to say is you should play a smaller game mode, get used to the gun mechanics, how everything works, because if you're like me, where you came over from Call of Duty, and you're a decent Call of Duty player, you might be drop shotting on that game, you might be jump shotting, you might be double tapping Y, and those things don't really work on this game too much. Double tapping Y can work sometimes, but it's not as good as like a Black Ops 2 where you can just double tap Y and have your weapon up instantly. And if you try to jump whilst in a gunfight on this game as well, it's not going to work. You're not going to have a good time. Your gun stops shooting, and you're often just going to die if you do that. And the same goes for drop shotting as well. So just jump into a Domination, get used to the game mechanics, find a weapon that suits you, and once you've played that for a few days, then I would suggest playing maybe Rush or maybe a Conquest. And if you do decide to play those maps, hopefully you've got a friend or two who also has the game, and you can play together and try and learn it together, because it is a really good game to learn, and I've been having a load of fun on this over the last few weeks. So the second tip that I have for you today is the fact that you should try your best to learn the ins and outs of each class loadout, learn which weapon is good in which situation, learn how you can take out tanks, how you can take out helicopters, and not only that, you should try your best to tweak your class whilst in the middle of the game. And the reason I say this because it's because when I played Call of Duty, and I know I keep going back to it, but I'm assuming that a load of people watching this video are in the same situation as me, just because my subscribers have come from 4 years of Call of Duty videos. So if you're moving over to Battlefield for the first time, it's good to compare it to the game that you've been playing and just trying to learn from it, I guess. But when I played Call of Duty, it wouldn't be uncommon for me to choose one class at the start of the game and stick with it for a 10-minute Domination game. But in Battlefield, it's really beneficial to try and adapt to your surroundings. If your squad, if you look in the bottom left and you see 4 medics in your squad already, it's probably not smart to spawn in as a medic. You're going to be sharing all the defib points and everything. If you spawn in as a support player, chuck down loads of ammo, your medics are going to appreciate that, and you'll get a load more points as a squad, and you'll be a more effective squad as well. But you see me in this gameplay, the reason I keep swapping between the UMP and the AK-5C, by the way, is because the The UMP is on my engineer class, and when I use the engineer class I use that Stinger missile that you may have just seen, which is really effective in taking out helicopters and jets, and that's what I try and do in Conquest. I spawn on a flag that's getting taken. If there's a tank there, I spawn as a recon with the carbine rifle, just so I've got that, you know, infantry slaying power, but also I've got the C4 to take out the tank. And if I see a helicopter on the map near the flag, I'll spawn in as an engineer and I'll, you know, fire Stinger missiles at the helicopter. And overall, if you try and adapt to your surroundings and what's going on in the game, you're going to get a load more points, you're going to rank up quickly, and you're going to have a far more enjoyable experience than if you were just sticking to one class, even if it's not working. So I do have 2 or 3 more tips that I've got for you today whilst you watch me destroy this little vehicle here with my blowtorch, which kind of sounds bad. I shouldn't have said that really, but you saw what happened. That was pretty cool because I didn't have any RPGs on this class. But one of the next tips I have for you is the fact that you should try your best to learn how to burst fire even if you're on fully auto, because if you go into a game with a weapon and you just fully auto fire, as you see me do right there, just because he was relatively close to me, so you can, you know, fully auto. It's not as if I'm saying never fire your weapon fully auto, but what I'm trying to say is learn when you can fully auto an enemy and learn when you should, you know, tap fire. Try and, you know, fire 2 or 3 bullets at a time. That way you're going to be far more effective, you're going to land loads more of your shots, you're not going to waste as much ammo, and you're going to win a load more gunfights. And that's something I learned over the course of a few days, just because I know I keep saying it, I apologise if it's annoying you, but coming over from Call of Duty, a game where a load of the gunfights are just spray and pray, pray and spray, one of the two. It doesn't really matter which order you say those 2 words in, but where you just, you know, hold down the right trigger or the left click on the mouse to fire your weapon, and hopefully you would win the gunfight. Moving over to Battlefield, it's pretty much the opposite. You try and burst fire if you're at range and just try and land more shots. And the last tip that I have for you today, as this game comes to a close, and this is pretty relevant for this part of the gameplay, try and be a huge nuisance to the enemy. Try and stay alive as long as possible. If you see a tank and you've got an RPG but only one of them, you know, fire that RPG at the tank. Even if you won't destroy it, you're still going to get points if your teammate does. If you see an enemy across the map and you know you can land 2 or 3 shots on him, just if there's no one around you, if you don't want to give your position away, obviously don't do it. But if you're miles away from the action, fire a few bullets at him, and if a teammate clears him up, you're going to get bonus points for that. And of course, if you've spotted him, you're going to get bonus spotting points. And on top of that, if everyone did that, a load of the gunfights would be far easier because everyone on the other team is going to have far less health. As you see me destroy yet another tank with my C4 Recon class, and that is pretty much going to wrap up the video, as I leave you with this clip here where my teammate was throwing C4 on a dirt bike, and I thought he was going to jump off here and not die, but he stayed there and he blew himself up. He was a martyr. He's just done what I've done and destroyed himself along with the tank. But that's the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave me a like, rating, subscribe if you're not, and I will speak to you all another time. Bye.